You sent me a smoochy picture?
Why are you laughing at me?
Because he's so funny looking.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hi to all my viewers. Bonjour, privet, guten tag, hola, and ciao to my foreign viewers. And today we're going to be looking at this. We're going to do a little book review. It's not going to take a lot of time, but if you like to collect German cutlery, this is a book for you. If you like to collect German bayonets, German hunting knives, anything along that lines, this is a book for you. And so this is a book by Anthony Carter. You can see it right there, German Knife and Sword Makers. And you can see it's from 1850 to 1945, and that's kind of the weakness in the book, is it only goes up to 1945, but actually it a lot of the companies it talks about rolls into the 2000s even, so it's fairly current. And it's 655 pages, what I call an exhaustive manuscript. And so it covers a lot of the German makers, big, small, in between. And even when they're controlled by a foreign company like Schrade, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I'm just going to take you through this real quick. As you can see, it's a really big book. Okay, so we're going to open her up here, and you can see here, this is a section up front that talks about the history of German sword making. And so he gives you a really good history from the 1850s up. Really, that goes back even further into the 1700s. And you know, how it all got started, talking about Solingen, the importance of it, German steel, and those kind of things. And so you get a really, really good, I mean, there's a lot of pages here dealing with those things. And then here's another section here. You can see, you know, where he's covering bayonets. Just a fabulous resource if you're into World War I, World War II German bayonets. Really remarkable. Here's another one right here. A lot of pictures in this book, like every other page. It's not highly technical, so that's not going to be boring for you or anything like that. Once you get through this section here, he goes alphabetically. You can see right there. So he's starting off alphabetically with the makers. And so he goes through each section, and you can see the maker here. He gives the brand name. So you get a brand name here of Dre A, and tells you when it was registered, 1923. He goes through each one that each maker had. So you get all their trademarks. You can see the trademarks in the side here in the margin. And he gives you dates and times on them. And then he gives you a little history on the company, you know, if that's available. It's not available on every company, but you can see this is pretty extensive right here on this company right here. And this helps you, you know, if you have a knife with the words Ausgulp on it, then you're able to put a date and a time and a manufacturer's to it. And that's really cool. Really cool. And this is a really big section. I wanted to take you to this one. You might be more familiar with a company like this, Frederick Ern. These are pretty collectible. Guys like to buy them. I'm not really sure why, but they do. They go pretty quick. but you could see the crown and Smith. Man, I have a hard time with that name. Schminter, Persian sword, trademark. That's one we see a lot, and then also urn. But you get a lot better history in this thing than say going to Goins, because Goins is just going to give you basic information on a company like this. This is much more detailed. It tells you about all the ins and outs of the companies, when they were bought, when they were traded, things like that. And I just find it, tremendously useful. Let's see. So I wanted to go to this section right here. I don't know whether you guys will know this company or not, Richards and Son, but that's a family, and they established Richards, which you might be familiar with, out of England. And so Richards in England uses the lamp post, and it's from this company here, the Richards Brothers and Sons. That's what that stands for. Gebruder is brother. And this tells you all about the company. You can see the whale symbol. You guys have probably seen that before. But the thing about this is down in here, it includes the history of Imperial, right? So Imperial Trade bought Richards in England, the company, and it includes that in the history, taking it up to 1983, I think. But so I'm just pointing that out because these are comprehensive histories on the companies. George Schrade is mentioned in here because George Schrade started a company in Germany. So that's kind of how inclusive it is. Over here, this is back in the appendixes. I wanted to show you this Royal and Imperial ciphers. And so back in the day, we think of these countries as one, but really they were made up by republics. And so in Germany, you had a bunch of different areas like Bavaria that made up different sections of the country. It wasn't really thought of as Germany as a whole. And so you see a lot of knives from these areas with these markings on them and can identify them. But this really helps you. This is the Kingdom of Saxony here. And then this appendix right here, this is the RZM listing. And so RZM was a registry, basically, and it was how the Germans controlled who made what in Germany during the Nazi reign. So from, at least 1938 on. And this is a complete listing. And so if you had a bayonet and you were wondering who made that bayonet, that's what these numbers correspond to. So these RZ listings were like on this one right here, M7 is the designation for metal. And so this is a control number for things made of metal. And the number 118 is the maker of it. And you can go down, you can see the list here of all the makers. And you go down to 118. Big book. Sorry, guys. You go down to 118, and you can see it's Jacobs and Company of Solingen. So you know exactly who made your knife. And, guys like to know those kind of things. Okay, had to stop for a minute. What else did I want to show you? The last section I wanted to show you was this section on Turkish markings. And so the Germans sold a lot of weapons to the Middle East and to the Turks. And you find these bayonets and they have these Arabic numbers and symbols on them, and you don't know what they mean. And this breaks this down. And so if you can match the symbols to this right here, you can figure out who made your weapon and when it was made. And you can see here a good listing of time frames for these weapons. I mean, this is just an incredible book. It's an incredible research. If you're into German cutlery, you like German knives, especially wartime cutlery. And so I meant that to be a lot quicker, but there's a lot to cover there. So I hope you found that informational for you, and I really appreciate your support. And this is a great book. If you can still find them, you just go to Google it, and you'll find it somewhere. And I hope you have a great day, guys.